Hi there, Sam. My name's Daniel. I'm the psychologist here. So, what are the problems that you've brought with you today?
Yeah, look, over the last little bit, I'd say, maybe about like a year, I have just been really, I guess, noticing more like worry or just like things just don't seem to be adding up. And I find that when things come up, like for instance, I just get pains or like my heart rate goes up or there's all these physical things that happen.
Right.
And I think, gosh, what does this mean? Is this something, what's wrong? What's going wrong, right? And so then like I go see the doctor and there's like, the doctor, I mean, my doctor's great. Like they're so, I've been going to them for, like really since I was like young. Like they've just seen me forever because I think it's really important that your GP is like someone who knows everything. You don't chop and change that. Right. And so like they've seen me and they like will do, 2 tests, but nothing comes back. And
is it they don't tell you anything? What do you mean you say it doesn't come back?
They just don't show up that there's something wrong.
Oh, right.
But then these symptoms are still there. And so I think, okay, well, the doctor will say, I got the results of that MRI and, it was all clear. And I think, gosh, I was really worried, like it can, in the lead up to the MRI, like I was almost like I can't sleep because I think, oh my gosh, what does this mean for me? And I've got like young kids, I can't, I need to be here and and so I just can't sleep. And then the MRI results come back and it's like, good, phew, it's okay. And then like, the headaches might go, for instance, or the dizziness might go, but it just doesn't seem like it's long before something they come back, or I'll have like this, really sharp pain in my back, and I think, what is that? What's that? Maybe what was before, maybe there was nothing there, but now I've got this as well as like heart rate, so then again I've got to like check and book an appointment with the GP, and I just it just makes me so worried that what if there's something there.
Okay, let me just take a step back for a moment. So you go to the GP because sometimes you experience symptoms, and then when you go there though, they may do some tests, but they don't show up as there's a physical injury or issue like that.
Yeah, the only thing that's come back is high blood pressure.
Okay, so I suppose I'm wondering though, how have you come here to see a psychologist then? What's happened for you to get here?
Yeah, well I guess it's been getting worse the last year.
Yeah.
And I think that I just think that my husband, Jake, he is kind of saying that, I don't think too much about it. And there's something that's happening. I think I was having like it's a gut stuff, and I think I was worried, what if I was celiac, or what if there was something like an autoimmune disease. Yeah. Nothing came back from the endoscopy and the stuff, but I still my gut was churning, and I think then I noticed like my daughter, she had some like runny poos, and I was like, what if there's like a parasite or something we've got? Right, yeah. And so then I said, we've got to do a juice cleanse. I don't know if you've heard about these juice cleanses. I did them all when I was growing up, whenever there was something, just to like really rid parasites and really make sure that like there's no like leaking of the gut, and just to kind of cleanse the system. And so I was like, we've got to do this juice cleanse. It's pretty intense, but it's fine. Like juices they're delicious. It's just like a lot of ginger and beetroot, and lots of really make sure it has to be organic, and you've got to make them every lunch, breakfast and dinner, and like you basically like don't eat anything other than these juices to really. And so I was saying, we've got to do this as a family. This is the first time that I think actually we might have a parasite, because nothing else was showing up. And Jake was saying, we're not doing that, and I thought, this is serious, like this is really serious, Jake. And he was saying to me that he thinks it's just like my anxiety, and that he thinks it's juice cleanses are ridiculous. And I thought, well, I've been doing
that. So he thinks, what's your anxiety?
Well, he just thinks I'm worrying too much about health, but parasites are real, and they can have a real impact on, the kids' well-being, my well-being, and I don't want Jake to get, sick as well. He's got a lot of stress at work, and his work has really ramped up in the last, about a year ago as well, I think it was. And just had lots of conflict around that time with this juice cleanse, and I just thought, this is really important. And so then
So can I just go, so when was this happening, when you were particularly worried about these, maybe parasite or something going on?
About a year ago.
So that was about a year ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So then that, you were saying, caused a bit of conflict between you and Jake.
Yeah,
Okay.
it did.
And
It was,
what was that like for you? I mean, is this...
oh, it was horrible. Like, Jake's my whole world. He has been my rock since, gosh, we've been together since like high school. Like, I don't know anything other than him. And yeah, so I couldn't. It's just really too upsetting to talk about. To be honest. But anyway, so we were just doing this thing, and so I just yeah, I couldn't do like. So he was saying, I think you need to go get some help. So that's why I emailed.
So, okay, this happened about a year ago.
Yeah.
You're saying it also caused a bit of conflict between you and Jake.
Yeah.
And that also sounds like a very painful thing for you to discuss at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's now been about a year later though, so I suppose what's happened over this last year or so for then you to now finally go to see a psychologist?
Yeah.
About that?
I think, well, I don't know, I guess there's something, sometimes I wonder maybe if I'm worrying about it a bit.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It just like it comes and goes, and
the symptoms comes and goes.
Yeah, so things, and the GP was saying that like we've done all these tests, and I think in the last 6 months they said I've been coming a fair bit, and so it's like, yeah, I don't know whether like a few different things, but I just, I couldn't not come and do something in case, right? Like, and I wouldn't want Jake to leave me as a result of like anything that's going on here. Like I really, I couldn't do life without him. It would be awful.
It sounds like there's a part of you that experiences these symptoms and genuinely very worried about them. There's a part of you that feels quite confident at times that maybe there is something going on, and yet there's this other part of you that maybe now is becoming almost suspicious of that maybe there is something about, or maybe you do worry a little bit sometimes, and maybe that is actually what you're experiencing is actually worry instead of maybe there being a medical problem?
I don't know, I think I do worry. I know that I'm a bit of a worry with this stuff, you know. I haven't always thought about it as worry. I think it's something like when you've got to be vigilant. I think I've just always known that if you see something or you notice something, it's just better to be safe than sorry and get things checked.
You've always done this?
Yeah, always. It's like, it's just always been that way. My mum was really sick a lot of, like, throughout my life.
Right.
I don't know what was ever wrong with her though, but I don't have a memory of like what illness she had or anything, but
she was quite a sickly person though.
She was very sickly.
Something was happening.
Yeah, something. She would sometimes be weeks in bed, or she would be at the hospital getting tests, or there would be like, I never knew what was wrong with her. She was taking treatments at sleep. Dad would take lots of time off work to like look after her and make sure she was fine, and then we sometimes would have to like go to different specialists, and I just would make sure, because they just had whatever was going on with mum, was like a lot for them to deal with, and
absolutely.
so I was just again, I think knowing that actually things go wrong all the time, that any time I noticed something, or I felt like funny in my tummy, or I kind of felt like a blocked ear or something, or I would always go to mum and be like, hey mum, this is what's happening for me, and she would be like, right, let's book a GP, let's go get that checked, because it's better to be safe than sorry. You just got to make sure that you're looking after yourself. So
even for you as a child, you saw your mum also kind of have these experiences of illness, and again, you can't really remember necessarily any one illness that she had, but there's always a sense of her being a little bit sick, a little bit ill, and Dad was a wonderful carer there.
Yeah, they were so good. They were just so, I couldn't have asked for any better parents. They were just so...
But then you're also saying that you learned then from that you have to be quite thoughtful, quite vigilant to, things can just happen sometimes, and illness can just come over you, so...
And it could be catastrophic, right? Because, what if you, what if something like deadly or deathly can come on, and if you didn't get to it sooner, then, something happens. Like, Mum...
You've had that before though? Is it something deadly happened?
Not to me, no, not to me, but you just never know, right?
Right.
And I would hate to be, laissez-faire about something and then leave it too long, and turns out I needed if it would be okay if
Rather be safe than sorry.
Rather than be safe than sorry, yeah. Because my I never met my well, I don't have, maybe when I was I don't know what the ins and outs, but I know Mum would always talk about that her dad died really young from like a undiagnosed cancer. It just like came on, and then all of a sudden he was dead. And so like these things happen, right? Like you know,
So your mum experienced this idea of like her dad maybe having signs or symptoms, but for whatever reason not getting that checked out, and then he died quite young, and then she
like really quickly.
And she learned from that, and she happened to be a bit sickly herself, so she took it really seriously. It almost feels like you kind of you've learned that as well, to take these things really seriously.
Yeah, and I think like all you've got is your health, right? So you've got to look after that.
Yeah.
You've got to eat well and make sure like you know follow up on things.
Yeah. And so hence again this idea of things like juice cleanses for you and your family was important because you want to take your health very seriously, but that then causes conflict. And this is then to do with, broadly you're saying, going to the GP, not really finding out if there is anything there, which must be comforting to you?
Yeah, I think there's like this, so I'll have this, like what will happen is like I notice something, so like the headaches and dizziness, for instance. I noticed this headache and dizziness this little while, maybe like 8 months ago. And that came on, and I think a little bit before that I also had some like lower back pain, or it's sharp. And so then I would notice these things, and I have my so my laptop where I have I can send you my medical history of all the signs and symptoms I've noticed as well if you want, because I make sure that you've got to document this stuff, right? And so I make a note that on this day I noticed this thing, and like the intensity of it for me, and then like these symptoms, and so I'll make a note of that, and then I go and book a doctor's appointment first and foremost. My GP has the online system, so it's like really easy, so I can know, okay, good, I've got a doctor's appointment in 2 days. And then I will look on, like, I have like a few different, like symptom, like Google Doctor, like Web MD, bookmarked, and so I'll go to those because they're really reliable sources. And then I type in my symptoms, have a look what they come up as. I'll let Jake know just in case something deteriorates overnight that he knows, like my password to get in, and like these are the latest symptoms. And then I sometimes will go to AI just to check like previous tests. If you take previous test results into account plus these new symptoms, does that mean anything?
You have all those.
Oh yes, of course. Any test results, I get like I'll make sure I have a copy of the report because I don't want any of that stuff to go missing. And then
very thorough. Then you're very comprehensive.
Yes, well, I just don't want any like human error or misdiagnosis or something. So I always double check and use ChatGPT a lot because it's just such a good resource. Gosh, that like has really just made me feel much more on top of these things. And then I'll go to the doctor and test results will come back, or the doctor will be like, oh no, this doesn't kind of check, or things looking, and it's like, oh, thank goodness.
It's a relief at that point. Then you sort of really realise that it's okay.
I just like I can't sleep in those days and lead up. I'll be like, Jack will sometimes wake up and I'm on my phone or on my laptop, like just reviewing things and having a look at all the symptoms and checking test results. And I think then he can get a bit annoyed with me because he's like, Sam, come on, like it's 2 in the morning, go to bed. He just, and so I then try to go to sleep because I don't want to upset him or impact him because he's so important to me. But I just don't think he gets it as well. But yeah, as soon as the doctor says something, or even sometimes when I talk to Jake about it and he's like, oh, let's take a big peek, nothing's come back yet, Sam, I think, oh yeah, you're right, nothing's come back. And so it's like this, I just feel so much better.
And then how long does that last then before, it sounds like you can be okay for a little while, but then something happens and then it starts again? Like what kind of time frame is that normally?
It's like, it can vary, it just depends on when I notice the next symptom. So then it'll be like, so with the head thing, I did the MRI, that came back. The doctor, after the doctor's appointment, he was like, oh, I really don't think there's anything here, Sam. And that gave me some like, okay, if he doesn't think it, and like all my checks have said that it probably doesn't mean anything, it was like okay, good, these align. And then the MRI was, but then maybe it was like, at that time I think it was like a week later, and then I noticed this like tightness in chest that would just come and go and come and go. I think, well, that's not normal, like that's not quite right. And then it like, oh my god, what does this mean? And so then again, I go through my same process of checking the, my records and just making sure, because it just like,
What would happen then if you couldn't do that for some reason, or you chose not to? What would happen if you didn't have your phone on you, or Jake wasn't with you, or something like that? How would that experience be for you?
Gosh, I think I would probably, I think it would just result in so much anxiety.
Yeah.
I think
If you didn't have that, then you would there'd be a sense of anxiety there.
Yeah, I think it's like as soon as I know that there's nothing wrong, right? Like that there's nothing. This isn't something. That nothing. This thing's not going to harm me or something, or it's not going to, be infectious or. Then I feel better. But until I get that confirmation that this isn't something. And I guess that's why, like, Jed's like, you're just worrying too much because, you just worry about health. I'm so attuned to health. I'm so, like, on it. There are things that I just would not do because I wouldn't want to risk health. Like, the kids, if the kids get invited to, like, some soft play centres or those jungle, like, that is like a journey. I just do not think the risk is worth getting something that you could catch from there that could be catastrophic. So we just don't go to those places. Or, the idea of being like away from home for a long period of time, where I don't have like my health team around me. Again, I just like that would just be too unbearable because what if something, like it's just better to be safe than sorry because something could happen.
You're very attuned to both kind of what's happening inside of yourself, and you were noticing any changes to your physicality that could say a sign or symptom. But you're also saying I'm quite thoughtful about what's out there as well that can impact your health.
Yes.
This idea of health being kind of really central to who you are and what's important to you. But it almost, you're saying other people seem to say kind of borders on that it's so important to you that maybe it's actually more of a worry than actually just being things that are maybe realistic or likely to happen.
Yeah, I think sometimes people might say, oh, you're such a hypochondriac about things. And I think, well, like, maybe, but again, I just think, like, it was such a big thing, it's better to be safe than sorry. So every time I go to mum, I'd be like, hey, I think there's something, or like, stuff I told, there was a big cut and we were in a playground and there was like lots of dirt around. Mum's like, well, better be safe than sorry, let's go to the doctor and just like make sure that like the wound is cleaned and packed and like we do need to get like a, like an injection for tetanus or something, just to make sure, again, it's just like better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, that really is, it's very important for you again, just to be on the lookout, just to make sure that things go as well as they can.
Yes.
And despite kind of being so thoughtful about that, it seems to be that it's never, that anxiety doesn't go away for that long because there's always something else soon happening that kind of brings that on anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like sometimes like if the kids get like gastro or something, like I worry about like what might happen, but I guess it's like I know gastro. Like I know that is a known thing, and I know what to do about it. Like it's not going to kill us. It's not going to cause. It's like common amongst children, so that doesn't cause. Like when gastro comes in, I'm like, oh, okay, well this is gastro, and I have my gastro kit, and we just like attend to gastro with hydrolyte, icy pulse, hydrolyte drinks, on Danzatron, gastro stop. We just like do. I just have a gastro kit. I've got the plan. It's fine. I know what to do there.
That's interesting. So you're saying there is actually being sick in and of itself actually doesn't seem to worry you that much. It's more about almost these symptoms that you can't explain, that kind of sometimes come, sometimes go, that are there, and then you want to be double checking. And again, it sounds like with your family history, you've had with your grandfather, a kind of death, mum was always kind of thoughtful and sickly, and so that's going to be important to you as well, just to make sure nothing catastrophic happens.
I just need to know what it is, right, so we know what to do about it, or that we can prepare for it, plan for it. Like sometimes when we might get like colds or flu, like in winter cold or flu season, I like try and do as much as I can to ensure that we don't, catch flus and stuff. And always as soon as flu shots are available, we're on it. And sometimes I know recently it's like get an extra one, I'm on it. Like I do what I need to do to make sure that we're like good. And it's so handy because I work at the medical centre, and so it's just like great. I can like the same. It's just so convenient. And if the kids have a cold or flu symptom, whilst there's like I can see a part of it's like, oh, it's probably a cold, or maybe it's just the flu, or it's like we just gotta rest and keep hydrated, and but but I want to make sure, like, we'll still go test it because you never know. What if this was actually something else? Or like if I have a cold flu, like I want to get confirmation of something.
Yeah.
Because again, you just don't know. It's better to be safe than sorry.
What is it like for you to be sitting here talking about some of this stuff? What is it like for you?
Well, it seems it's fine. I just think like it just doesn't add. I just don't understand what I could do about it. I just think.
Yeah, there's a part of you that's unsure, and you're kind of want to know more about your symptoms. But what is it like for you here? How do you feel sitting here talking about some of this?
I feel okay. Like it's
Do you notice any symptoms in your body at the moment?
Well, I've had the type, like the heart rate. Like I noticed that going, but I suppose I'm talking about things that are pretty like have been pretty horrible, like uncomfortable.
Yeah. So what is that about? You're saying the heart rate going up? Why would you have a heart rate going up now?
Well, I guess it's like I don't know you and. Just remembering those times, like they were really anxiety. I just remember, lying in bed at night and the conflict with Jag is, upsetting.
So when you're thinking about these, you're saying you experience some anxiety even here in the room, perhaps?
Yeah, I think a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's like okay to talk to you about it.
Sure, it's okay for you. But you do notice then maybe there's something there, and those symptoms are similar to what you experience sometimes outside of here as well when you were worrying?
No, they're much more intense because I think they're about something.
Right, yeah.
Again, I think it's like maybe like the gastro, right? Like I know the gastro, so I know what to do. Or I have an idea, like whenever I've done, if I have to train, new staff, there might be I notice a bit of like, mild nervousness, but I'm like, well, that's to be expected because I'm training someone, I don't know them.
Okay, yeah.
Or when I had to do, I did a bit of drama at school and stuff because I was, did a whole bunch of stuff at school, and there was like a bit of nervousness going on stage, but that's to be expected.
Okay.
It's like, it's like, well, that's okay.
You mentioned you would train people at work. What?
Yeah, so I'm like the admin team lead at the medical centre, and so making sure that all like receptionist and administration tasks are done, and making sure that test results come in and we flag them for the doctors, and making sure reports are sent, and just making sure that like the medical centre runs smoothly. We've got like 10 GPs and a couple of allied health, and so like it's
a big practice.
It's enjoyable though because it's like I like being around health. Health is like so important, and I like the hustle and bustle. It's like exciting, right?
There's a lot of attention to detail that's needed there as well.
Yeah,
it sounds
exactly.
like you have a lot of those skills.
I think so.
Notice and to action them and to do something straight away.
So again, I just wouldn't want something to be missed for someone else either because it's important.
Okay then, so let me just kind of put the timeline together. So you're raised in this kind of really warm family home, you're saying, but also within that family home there was a lot of focus on health because of your mum's experience with her dad, with her own experience, and for you as well. That seemed like an important part of the things that you used to do is to think about your health and make sure that's okay, so everyone gets to live a good life. Similarly, you're thoughtful about your kids as well in doing that. But you are very hypervigilant to then changes in your body or what's going to happen there, and if something comes up and there's an unknown to that, and perhaps a part of you kind of goes maybe to something that can be quite severe. Not necessarily because it is that, but again, you'd rather be safe than sorry, and you're like, oh, it could be something bad, so I'd rather check on an AI or Google or talk to your partner or someone at work, whatever it may be. And you're saying when you do that, some of those symptoms in itself maybe reduce a little bit, and maybe that part of it is the anxiety that's happening at that point when you're talking to someone that feels calmer for you?
Yeah. I'm not sure actually. It's like a... Yeah, I suppose. I think it is like this... It's like I maybe just don't notice the dizziness as much, but I think sometimes dizziness comes and goes though for me, so it's like...
Yeah, so maybe it doesn't count for all of it, right? So you're saying there's still something there. I mean, it's not all necessarily anxiety, but maybe there's sometimes it feels like it comes more than that as well.
Yeah, I suppose so. I haven't thought about it that much.
Yeah. But then you go get your test, you keep a really good diary of everything, really comprehensive with that all, and maybe there's some times when you're feeling okay about that, but then sometimes another symptom will come up, and then it's all there again, and kind of it's like,
what if? It's like I notice a lot of like, what if it's this, or what if it could be that, or what if,
okay, Okay then, I think that's probably enough information at the moment. Let's leave it there and then we'll put in a time soon.
Yeah, sounds good.